Hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
We're back.
We're back, and look who's back also.
Hello.
I found her. I came to looking for her, and I found her.
He had to flew to Chile to
Yes.
find me finally. So here we are in our hotel room.
Yes, we are here in a hotel room. First of all, we want to apologize to all our viewers and people who follow us on social media because, well, these trips were programmed before we started with the channel.
Yes.
So even though we brought the equipment, we didn't have the time to record at least the previous video, the preview for the game against the Stormers.
Well, we just got back together yesterday.
Yes.
So watched the game later because I couldn't do it at the time. So here we are.
Here we are, and we're going to talk about this is going to be a review of the Stormers Jaguares games.
Yes, we're going to talk about a little bit about the lineup because we didn't do a pre-game video. So we're going to talk about, well, he's going to mention more than me about differences between lineups, lineups like Jaguares against Reds and Jaguares against Stormers, and then a bit about what happened with the game, what are our thoughts, and that, right?
Yeah, that's gonna be it. So let's start. Let's go over the starting lineup. It was with the forwards. You want to start with forwards?
Okay. Sorry, we have a computer, but weird, so we have our phones now. Nahuel Tetas Chaparro, Santiago Socino y Santiago Medrano were the first line.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Matías Alemán y Lucas Paulos, Frankie Gorrisen, Tommy Lezana y Rodrigo Bruni, Tommy Cubelli and Mingo Miotti, Sebastián Cancellieri, Juan Chimalía, Santiago Chocobares, Bautista Delgui y Emi Bofelli were the last.
The back three. And our replacements was Julian Montoya, Maiko Vivas, George Sclavi, first row, Guido Petty, second row, Marcos Creme, third row, Gonzalo Beltranu as scrum half, Joaquín Díaz Bonilla as fly half, and Matias Moroni as center or back replacement of the back three. So this is the team that Gonzalo Quesada picked for the game.
It was the first game. It was the first game of the tour.
Yes.
So
it was the first game outside Argentina this season.
They had less time to train
and to recover from that.
To recover for a lot of stops to trip with.
Yes, it was they had two stopovers. The trip was Buenos Aires, Sao Paulo in Brazil. Sao Paulo, Johannesburg, and Johannesburg, Cape Town. And just remember one thing, Jaguares is the only team in Super Rugby that every away game they have is across an ocean. So if the Bulls plays the Lions, they take a bus and get to a stadium, to the Lions Stadium. If the Blues plays the Chiefs, they take a bus and go to it.
And even if I was I don't know, you play against Brumbies, against Sharks, it's just a flight about.
No, it's also an ocean. It's the Indian Ocean. They have to fly.
But it's not that many.
But in the end, they have away games in their own country and even close to their local cities. Jaguares is the only team who flies across an ocean every away game. So Jaguares had all the flight time plus the change of hours of time zones. And how to recover. It was less days of training, and the coaching staff picked up this team we just mentioned, and at the beginning, after the last game, I'm looking forward into what was coming against Stormers. I thought that we have a good chance. We can win against Stormers. We have a good team. If they correct the mistakes they did against Reds in the first half, mainly showing up during the first half of a game, and the second half or being in the game the 80 minutes, what didn't happen against the Hurricanes. If we did correct that, we have a good chance against the Stormers, even if it was an away game. But then the team was announced.
Yes. And what happened?
And it changed completely. but it changed.
So what do you remember? Like which players didn't play? There were like, for example, I think Socino.
Yes, but that's the thing. Let's remember that on the game against Red, we lost 2 players due to injury was that are usually starters. Crevi, who didn't make it to the tour. He is not in South Africa, and Jeronimo Fuente, who's the captain, who yes, he did make it to the tour, but he was ruled not fit for the previous game against the Red just a couple of hours before the game. And so yes, now the coaches decided. I'm talking about what the coach said before the game when they showed us which the starting lineup was going to be, which the team they picked up for the game. They said that they had few days to recover. They have few days to train, so they decided to do this rotation of players and give players who didn't have that much minutes.
And the players that usually come in second half or didn't wear in the first games at all, like Socino, for example. So the main ones, like the ones that play all the time, could have like a rest.
Yes.
And for me, I think it was a good move because Stormers is the toughest of all the South Africans, and if you put in Spanish we said if you put si pones toda la carne al asador, if you put the best team and the best team is not at its best, you're just it makes no sense. So I think it was a good game to just put some replacements, play like okay, just get in the game because we were saying yesterday we talked a lot. We should have made the video yesterday while we were in a swimming pool talking about the game, but I don't think it was fitable for a video. So, but we discussed about this a lot, and you had to let everybody play and start a game and play 60 minutes or 70 minutes. And not just the same. Not every game with Guido Petit, not every game with Austin Grevy, not every game with Tute Moroni. You need to let these new ones to have some time in the field and to start a game to know, so they can know and feel what is to start, and they can be ready in case of injuries, for example.
Yes, the coach staff had been saying from the start that they have a big squad. I don't want to give minutes to everyone. This is a tough tournament, the toughest in the world, and demands a lot of physically from the players, especially with the travels and recovering from the time zones difference and all this stuff. And they want to build a big, an even squad. And also they want to increase the depth of players available for Pumas in July. And the best way of doing that is rotating players, giving players minutes. And if we go back and see what happened last year, was first season of this coaching staff, and the amount of changes they did game after game after game was building a squad that if there was an injury, the replacement had the enough minutes and the experience to be ready to replace the other player. And he has trained, and he has been from the start in some games, so he has the amount of minutes that every player plays. There's an average. They are all around the same amount of minutes, and also it changed the mindset of the players, knowing that they would have the chance to play. They would have the chance of starting a game and playing 60 minutes. They would have the chance of coming out of the bench and have those 20 or 30 minutes to be an impact player and to prepare themselves.
And show themselves. It's
Exactly.
the best way of saying, like raising your hand, saying, okay, here I am, I'm good. I can start again.
Let's talk about the players that actually played. Noel Chaparro, he's been playing a couple of games. Santiago Socino, this is the third game of Santiago Socino in Super Rugby. It's the first time he starts.
Yes.
He's supposed to be.
He did really good.
He did really good. He's supposed to be the third hooker, and he started his game. He did really well. So we know we have a player that if needed, he can play. He can play from the start, and he's ranking up minutes to be available to have the performance required. In case just like now that we know that Krevi is not going to be available. So we have that. Let's go to the second row. Alemano and Paulus.
Yes. Alemano has a lot of experience. He has played in Jaguares before and in Pumas, and it's a good replacement when you need to like leave Petty a bit off and cool down. But Paulos, I have like 3 names that very like surprised me a lot in this game, because I think they play so good to be so new, like keeping the pack together and the defense together. So I will say the 3 of them, but obviously Paulos is one of them. But I think he doesn't have that much experience, but he's showing a lot, and he's a solid number 5 now.
Yes, he actually he played a couple of games last season, but not a lot of minutes. He started the season as a starting player because Alemano was injured, and he has been playing from the start all the 4 games played so far. So he's ranking up minutes. Alemano, he was injured. This is just his 2nd game of the season and his 1st game starting. Last game he came out of the bench. Let's go through to the 3rd line. We got Frankie Wallison, just like Paulos, played last season a couple of minutes. This season he started in the 1st game, 2nd game, out last game, now again starting, ranking minutes, getting experience as a flanker.
Tommy Lezana, same, coming from he started the 1st game as an 8, we didn't like it. Then he moved again to his number 7. I think it was one of the low points of the first of the starting team. It's a Pato fact, or Pato say I don't want to steal it from him, but it's like he's not keeping up with the rest. He's not at the same level. Like all the other players are just coming and being better than him, and he's missing some things. Like he's not at the same level, and it will keep on showing.
Yes, let's remember that he was played at number 8 on the 1st game, which is not his position. Yes. It's not his position. His position is a flanker, and yes, he hasn't. He's not showing the level that we've known him to show at some point. To have that impact, to be that ball carrier, to be that. He's just a little bit lower than the rest of us, as far as we are concerned. He's a little bit lower than the rest. And then we have in number 8 Rodrigo Bruni.
No comments yet.
I think why?
Because it's one of my 3 best players.
Okay.
She
likes Rodrigo Bruni. I really like Rodrigo Bruni. Rodrigo Bruni make a big impact on the 1st game when he entered, replacing Lezana. He's a natural number 8. He knows how to manage. I believe he required more minutes, more training during the last seasons, and now he's showing the level that he can have. Yeah. He's having an impact. He made a lot of tackles. He scored a try. He was good managing the scrum, the back of the scrum, while we were going backwards during the 1st half when we struggled with scrummaging, and he's good. So I think we will find a good number 8, that we were missing since Isa and Leizamon, well also Leizamon, but since Isa and Senatore left the team, we didn't have a really true number 8, and with Rodrigo Bruni we have one now.
And Cremes.
But Cremes is not playing number 8. Cremes is a flanker. Yeah. The other one is as a young one is Pedemonte. Bautista Pedemonte, who he is within the squad. He traveled to South Africa. We're going to see if he gets minutes, but he's a promising number 8. Big impact ball carrier, and he might make if he gets the minutes and he adapts to the rhythm, he might be a good also option at number 8.
Let's go to number 9 and 10.
Tomas Coeli has been playing,
and Domingo Miotti as well. So no different. Like they're. It's good that they're like getting to know each other to see how they, because if they play together and they play together well, and if they understand each other, the game will move and the attack will advance, and we will be better attackers.
Yes.
So they're getting minutes together. So
yes.
Which is.
And once again, Miotti is young. He's gaining experience. 4th game he starts playing. So
he had a lot of some kicks with bad luck.
Yes.
Both
of them.
Yes.
Coeli and Miotti had a really bad luck and bad performance kick in the first half.
I think it's just that was like luck. It's just pure luck.
Yeah, performance. And then this is an important factor. we're gonna go to the inside centers, and so to two centers, right? It's Juan Cruz Malia and Santiago Jaguares.
Yes.
This is important to notice. These two players have never played together before.
Yeah.
And they only had a couple of just one day and a half of training, of formal training, of tactical training, both of them to sync up on during the game, which they didn't sync up that very well in attack. They work well in defense,
yes,
but not that well in attack, and that's the lack of training time between both of them. And this is also a good thing because Santiago Malia, he's being placed as number 12, and they say he's going to be a number 12. He and Gerardo Lafuente are going to be number 12, and they're placing him there and giving him minutes there. Santiago Jaguares, it's his first start in Super Rugby, his third game in Super Rugby, and actually he was not supposed to play his last game. He was into the bench because Gerardo Lafuente was replaced at last minute.
Yeah.
So once again, there's a player who had to deal with big centers just like Jamie Roberts, really international. Great player, great, amazing player. He plays so well. The tackle he made on Cancellieri, taking him out, dragging his leg outside. That's
not
an amazing.
The ankle.
The ankle. That's an amazing tackle. That's knowledge of how to take a player out in that position, in that place.
Yes.
He went just and dragged his feet outside. That was an amazing move. That's knowledge. That's quality of player. He was great there.
Okay,
he played really well. I'm sorry, but
let's go back
to. I'm sorry.
Okay, so we have Sebastián Cancellieri and Bautista Dergui, which we think they did a really good job. Mm-hmm. They have talent and they're really good at their positions. They didn't, since like the team couldn't attack that much, they didn't do that much, but they had they had
the chances to try, and actually Cancellieri had the chance that Jamie Roberts took him out,
and Dergui had an amazing run that we couldn't do a try.
Well, and Cancellieri scored a try which was not was disallowed correctly because it was an outside position, but he actually scored a try.
And Emio Feli
he returned to the position he played last season. Let's see the replacement. Sorry we're taking so much longer with this, but since we didn't do the previous the preview game,
you have to pull like half an hour now.
Yes, and we want to talk about, because I think it's important to see how the game went and what is the tactic and why the coaching staff is thinking long run and building a squad in the long run, not just thinking in the particular game that's coming next. Well, Julián Montoya, Michael Vivas, and Joel Esclavi.
Joel Esclavi came really early, like 20 minutes, 10 minutes.
30 minutes, 10 minutes before halftime.
And the scrum got so much better when he got into it. I think, definitely he's a really good. Like he really helps in the scrum to stabilize it and to push forward or just to keep it stable. So, and it was a game that needed that, and he delivered. So I think it's very good. And now he needs to work in the rest of it, and the rest of parts of the game, like in moving, in passing, in getting the rhythm of the Super Rugby.
Yes, that's why he's been used as a replacement. His fourth Super Rugby game. And he's used as a replacement because of that. He still lacks the dynamic that the Super Rugby demands. So he might not be ready. So up to this point to play 60 minutes. Yeah. He can be good at that, but once again,
he did good.
But exactly, he played
50 minutes.
He played 50
55,
minutes. Yes, and he was good. So maybe they are bringing him slowly into the rhythm required to play 60 minutes of steady and in the same level.
Michael Vivas, I like him much more than Teta Chaparro. Mm-hmm. Much more. I think, he Teta Chaparro it's like an old school number one, and I think Michael Vivas has more into what's the new idea of the game, moving the ball, and he has more rhythm than Teta Chaparro. I think that's my thought.
Yeah. And Julián Montoya, he's a beast. He's been improving so much. And
almost trying.
Yes, and he's great. And he was held up, and he managed to go down to the ground. And
for me, he is the number 2. Like if I had to make of all the number 2s we have, I think he's even better than Craig.
Yes, I believe he's our number 2,
Definitely.
the starter number
Yes.
2. Well, then we have Guido Petty. We know how good he is. Yeah, of course. Marcos Kremer, an amazing player.
Yes.
He entered and he started to make a difference.
He's a beast.
Once
Yes.
again. Gonzalo Bertanu, returning from injury, having a couple of games.
Yes.
I like him as he plays, but he needs to get the rhythm. He needs to get back into the rhythm of gaming. Diamrija, he didn't got into the game. He was not used. We believe or at least I believe he's gonna be used in the next game.
He was about to, because at some point, like 10-15 minutes before the game was over, the cameras of the studio pointed at him and said, okay, he's coming.
Yes.
The commentators, at least in Argentina, said, okay, here is Tito, and he didn't.
And he was not used. I believe he's going to be used in the
next game.
I believe the conductors in the next game are going to be Bertranu and Diagonija and Matias Moroni, another beast. He entered and he made a huge difference. But this is the thing, these are players that we know they can play 60 minutes, and when they are used for 20 minutes to rest, they come in and make a difference. And that's something that the coaches are wanting to do. They want to get fresh, exactly, and get the other players that don't have that amount of minutes, to get more minutes, get more experience, get into that rhythm, and be able, when they have to enter in the second half, be the ones who make that impact as the ones that came in.
And I think that not every game, but the most of the games, you need to finish it in the last 20, 25, 30 minutes of the game. So you need quality players that come in on the field and make the difference. And that bench, that was it, because you have Kremer, you have Santiago, you have Tute Moroni, you have Petty, you have Julio Montoya. There are players that are coming fresh up because they didn't play it still, so they have the rhythm, they know each other, and they know how to play. The game changed, like in attacking wise, completely when those players came to field.
Yes.
We started attacking. We didn't attack before. It was a very basic defense game, and they did so good because we defend a lot, and they were all new players and they did it very well.
Yes, that's
because they know how to do that. That's
remarkable.
the thing.
Stormers, let's remember, Stormers reserve player for this game. Thompson, the coach of Stormers, took this game as a really important game, defining game of the South African Conference. He said so, that this game and the one Argentina were going to be definitive games for the South African Conference. He rested players during the game, the past week game against the Lions, where they almost lost the game. He rested players and he put the best team he had.
Toda la carne al asador.
Exactly, every player he had, the best players he could manage to.
The best team.
Jaguares Sonehound shifted players, put players who don't usually play, and that team that was fielded in the first half, although making lots of mistakes, the wet ball and everything like that, they managed.
Also scrums.
Yes, terrible scrummaging. They managed to hold back the Stormers. They managed to hold that. They defended and they managed to keep them at bay.
Yes.
It was only 3 points.
Yeah.
It was just a penalty, and they couldn't break our defense. They couldn't score tries.
And the try on the second.
And the second half, the story
changed. But he's in everything.
Yes.
He's a really good number 9. So South Africa has a really good number 9.
Yes, he's great. Like, the way
he's
he played.
like Faf.
Yes, he's everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah. He's everywhere. He's so quick. He thinks so fast.
Yeah.
He's so talented. And
for me, that the first try was like, it's completely Janji's.
Yes.
Playing.
It broke the game.
Yes.
Then we broke the game. The second half, Howard started attacking, and it was the 2 tries came out of 2 mistakes from Howard.
Yes.
One was the pass to the floor. Maria's pass to the floor, where Chanchis was just there, pick it up and run without intervention, and was good, and that broke the game. And the second try was that mistake made by Sclavi.
Yeah.
That was, he didn't move when the high ball, he didn't return or move around, get away from the area where the ball was coming, and he considered a penalty, played the line and the try. So 2 mistakes cost us those tries, 2 easily and silly mistakes, we might say. But beside that, Jaguares managed in the second half to reclaim some control of the game, although the ball was wet, and we
had rain.
Yeah, we had rain, and we managed to score. Well, not score, but get over the line 3 times.
Yes.
The Bruni try, the Montoya held up,
and
the Cancellieri out of the back of the to a penalty. Of course, they were the two tries that were not that were disallowed. They were
good.
Yes, they were not tried. That was disallowed correctly, but we managed to break that defense. We managed to get there, and that was starting with all those replacement and coming back into the game in the second half. So, and that's what I want to. I'm not so sad about. Of course we lost. Yes, that's not good, but I'm not so sad about that. And that's the feeling I had when I saw the lineup. It's yes, the coaches are being true to themselves and to what they said at the beginning of the season was going to happen, and they're thinking in the long run. They're building a squad. They're giving even minutes to all the squad to have an even squad, and to say this is a long tournament that demands a lot of the players, of traveling and time zones, as I said, and rest, and they are managing the squad in that way and going forward and not thinking of just tomorrow. We need to win tomorrow, whatever it takes. No, they're in the long run, and that thing makes me hopeful because I think we're building a strong squad.
For me, I said it to him yesterday. When you put so much new players, it's so good to see that they have you clearly see that they know how to defend, but they struggle to attack because they hadn't been playing together for a long time, so they don't know, they don't get the rhythm yet. But they defend, and they defend good, and they kept Stormers without almost any points until like 60 minutes of the game, which it's better than all the rest of the teams that played against Stormers did, because I think they were like saying that every Stormers game they at least try like they made 2 tries in the first 15 minutes. That here didn't happen. They just did 2 tries.
Sorry for that. We had a technical issue with the memory. We ran out of space, so
we're having technical difficulties. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So we're gonna finish this with a conclusion there, where I was saying that we were the first team to score a try against the Stormers in Newlands this season, and that's really pretty good for us.
Yes.
And for the statistic of what's going on, to show that even they're a strong team, but we were able to break their defense and to score.
So I think we resuming already resumed.
Yes.
A very newish team came into the field. They defend really good. They couldn't attack that much. With the replacements, fresh from the bench, and all experienced players, we could do a little bit more. We scored a try. The tries that were scored by Stormers were because 2 mistakes, we could say, that they could have been avoided, but they happened. So we are not happy that we lost, but we are not that unhappy because we lost playing well and defending a lot. And
yes, we lost the game. We're not happy about that, but I believe we have a bright future. I believe we're building a full squad, as we mentioned before. Yes. We're giving minutes to young players who will be available, who are the future of Argentine rugby, and we're seeing that. And we're going to be. I think we're going to have a bright future. At least I'm optimistic about that. Of having a strong, full squad, even squad of tons of players that can enter and replace others, and the level of the team is not going to go down.
Yes.
And I think that's where the coaches are building to, and that's what I think they're actually building to.
And favorite 3 players I mentioned like 20 minutes before. Rodrigo Bruni, Frankie Orrison, and Lucas Paulus. That was my favorite.
Yes, I think that Rodrigo Bruni had a great game. I think Lucas Paulus was also great. Yeah, I agree with Flora. Those were great players.
Yes.
Players that didn't have that amount of minutes, and they performed, and So next game is against the Bulls.
Yes.
And we're gonna be bringing the preview to that game, but we hope that we get a good result there, because we also need to get results apart from building a squad. And but once again, I think that we're gonna see changes once again. We're gonna see changes.
And
week,
changes.
Yes,
and
week
changes,
after week. You're not gonna see the same squad, the same team being filled one week after the other. We're gonna see changes all along the tournament from one game to another.
Well,
that's it.
So yeah, this is the final. Sorry, it's a little bit longer because we went by all the players that have played and the substitutes. We're going to see it in the next video, which is the preview of the game of next weekend. Jaguares against Blues? No, Bulls. Sorry. And okay, I think that's it.
Yes, please subscribe,
everything.
give a like, notification bell, leave a comment, everything that every YouTuber says. And we are not gonna be strangers to that. I'm gonna say it again. And
there's a fly going on, and now we have the aircon on because we forgot to turn off the
aircon. So sorry if that bothers and gets into the video, but we're doing our best. We're learning from this, and
see you next time.
Bye.